Philosophical question being addressed. How does the concept of freedom of indifference change how we see self-determination? The idea of freedom of indifference transforms our understanding of self-determination. Supporting point number 1. The excerpts challenge traditional beliefs about free will, which are based on reason and choice. Supporting point number 2. Moreover, the passages suggest that this concept highlights the ability of our will to make independent choices, which in turn shifts our perspective on self-determination. Supporting point number 3. Furthermore, the essay argues that embracing radical indifference in our will expands our view of human agency and self-determination. Objection to supporting point number 1. Some people disagree with the first point, arguing that free will should be grounded in reason and moral values. Objection to supporting point number 2. Similarly, critics believe that true freedom comes from being guided by reason and moral principles rather than making independent choices. Objection to supporting point number 3. There are those who argue that aligning our choices with societal norms leads to the genuine self-determination, contradicting the third point.
Response to objection number 1. To counter this objection, we argue that free will can extend beyond reason and morality, allowing for a more radical interpretation. And in response to the second objection, we assert that making choices independently can still lead autonomy and self-determination. And then finally, addressing the third objection, we propose that true self-determination may involve choices that do not conform to external influences. So for the response for the objection number 1, to counter the first objection, let's argue that free will can exist outside the boundaries of reasons and morality, allowing for a more radical interpretation. In response to the second objection, we firmly assert that making independent choices can still lead to autonomy and self-determination. And finally, addressing the third objection, we firmly assert that true self-determination may involve choices that don't conform to external influences. Insights on point number 1. Through this discussion, we realize that free will can go beyond rationality and moral values, expanding our understanding of this concept. For the insight of point number 2, it becomes clear to us that choosing independently can deepen our understanding of self-determination. And furthermore, for the insight of point number 3, we've come to understand that making choices independently can offer us a broader perspective on human agency. In conclusion, we firmly maintain that the concept of freedom of indifference truly reshapes our understanding of self-determination by highlighting the will's ability to choose independently. Now for the application of the insights. Today, as we move forward, we will take into consideration that potential of true freedom in decision-making that is independent of external influences. Thank you!